Welcome, true crime aficionados. I'm Anaz, your guide into the shadowy world of unsolved mysteries. Today, we're delving into a story that has baffled and terrified people for decades, the enigmatic and chilling case of the Zodiac Killer. The late 1960s and early 1970s, Northern California. An era marked by cultural revolutions, vibrant music, and an air of freedom. But beneath this facade of peace and love, a sinister darkness was unfolding. A shadow loomed over this picturesque landscape, a predator lurking in the very heart of American society. Enter the world of the Zodiac Killer, a figure so elusive and terrifying that his name alone sends shivers down the spine. A mastermind of evil, cloaked in mystery, taunting the police and public with cryptic messages. He claimed the lives of innocents and left a trail of unsolved puzzles. His identity, a question mark that has haunted detectives, journalists, and the public alike. As we journey through the fog of time, back to the streets of Northern California in its most turbulent era, we confront not just a killer, but a phenomenon. The Zodiac was not just a murderer. He was a harbinger of terror, a dark figure who turned the American dream into an American nightmare. Join me as we attempt to unravel the mystery of the Zodiac Killer, piecing together the fragments of a puzzle that has remained unsolved for over half a century. Stay with me as we explore the depths of one of the most infamous and enduring mysteries in American criminal history. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of darkness. This is the story of the Zodiac Killer. In the late 1960s, the tranquility of Northern California was violently disrupted, marking the beginning of a terrifying spree by a killer who would come to be known as the Zodiac. Our story of horror begins with the first confirmed attacks, a series of chilling events that set the stage for a saga of fear and mystery. December 20th, 1968, Vallejo, California. The night was cold, the air filled with the promise of the holiday season. But for two high school students, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, it was the end of the road. Their bodies were found on a lover's lane, a quiet spot turned crime scene. The method: brutal, point-blank shootings. This was no random act of violence. It was the calculated move of a predator lurking in the shadows. The Zodiac's modus operandi was not just unusual, it was theatrical. He didn't just kill, he orchestrated scenes of terror, leaving cryptic clues and symbols, a signature of his twisted game. Each attack was a carefully crafted act of violence, designed not just to take lives, but to instill fear, to create a narrative of horror that he controlled. July 4th, 1969, again in Vallejo. The Zodiac struck once more, shattering the lives of Darlene Ferrin and Michael Majow at a secluded parking lot. This time, the killer made a chilling move. He called the police to report his heinous crime, taking credit for the shootings, his voice cold and calculated. Each attack brought with it not just the horror of violence, but a perplexing puzzle. The Zodiac's methods were a mix of meticulous planning and bold risk-taking. He didn't just want to kill, he wanted to be known, to taunt the authorities and public with his cryptic communications. As we delve deeper into the Zodiac's reign of terror, one question echoes in the darkness: why? What drove this enigmatic figure to commit such brutal acts of violence? Was it a thirst for notoriety, a twisted mind's craving for control, or something even more sinister? As the Zodiac continued his chilling spree, he embarked on a twisted game of cat and mouse, not just with the police, but with the entire public. The tool of his terror: cryptic letters sent to newspapers, a brazen act that would elevate his notoriety to unprecedented levels. The letters, each one a chilling testament to the Zodiac's cunning and madness, began arriving at various newspapers. They were not just messages, they were puzzles filled with cryptograms, symbols, and demands. These letters were the Zodiac's way of directly communicating with the world, showcasing his ego and desire for public attention. The reaction was instantaneous and widespread. Fear gripped the heart of Northern California and beyond. People were both terrified and fascinated. Newspapers and TV stations found themselves in a moral quandary, given to the demands of a killer and grant him the public stage he so craved, or deny him and risk inciting further violence. The Zodiac had managed to not only terrorize his direct victims, but also hold an entire region in the grip of fear. The cryptograms were a particular source of obsession. Amateur and professional codebreakers alike pored over these enigmatic messages, trying to decipher the mind of a killer. But the Zodiac was always one step ahead, his messages a mix of taunting and terrifying claims, including the chilling assertion that he was collecting slaves for the afterlife. The public's reaction was a mix of fear, fascination, and an overwhelming sense of helplessness. The Zodiac had become a boogeyman, a dark figure looming over the safety of their daily lives. And the media, in their relentless coverage, inadvertently turned the Zodiac into a twisted kind of celebrity, his crimes and cryptic messages becoming the subject of dinner table conversations and newspaper headlines. As we delve deeper into the Zodiac's cryptic communications, we find ourselves entangled in his web of terror. His letters, a dark mirror reflecting the fears and fascinations of a society, remind us that sometimes the most chilling stories are those that remain unsolved, their secrets hiding in plain sight. As the Zodiac's reign of terror continued, the list of suspects grew, each a puzzle piece in the complex mosaic of this unsolved mystery. The investigation saw a parade of individuals who, for various reasons, became entangled in the web of suspicion. Let's delve into the lives of these major suspects and understand why they were considered potential culprits behind the mask of the Zodiac. First, we have Arthur Lee Allen, a name that frequently surfaces in discussions about the Zodiac. His connection, a watch brand named Zodiac, and a boot similar to those described by a survivor. His handwriting and fingerprints, however, did not match those linked to the Zodiac. Despite this, his presence loomed large in the investigation, a figure both compelling and elusive in the narrative of the Zodiac killer. Then there's Ross Sullivan, who became a suspect due to his presence in the vicinity of one of the Zodiac's first known crimes and his interest in cryptography. However, like many suspects, conclusive evidence linking him directly to the Zodiac's crimes was lacking. Lawrence Kane is another name that emerges, linked to the Zodiac due to his proximity to several crime scenes and some circumstantial evidence. Kane remains a figure of interest, but, like others, not definitively connected to the Zodiac. Each suspect brought with them a trail of circumstantial evidence, coincidences, and sometimes eerie similarities to the Zodiac's profile. Yet, the lack of concrete evidence meant that these connections remained speculative, their potential guilt shrouded in a fog of doubt and ambiguity. The investigation into these suspects was a labyrinth of dead ends, half-truths, and frustratingly elusive leads. For every suspect that seemed to fit the profile, there were inconsistencies that muddied the waters, leaving investigators and the public in a state of perpetual uncertainty. As we look back at these suspects, we're reminded of the complexity of criminal investigations, especially in a case as perplexing as the Zodiac's. The true identity of the Zodiac remains a mystery, a shadowy figure at the center of one of the most intricate puzzles in criminal history. In the twisted saga of the Zodiac killer, symbolism played a crucial role. Central to this enigma was the Zodiac's own symbol, a simple yet ominous circle crossed by a horizontal and vertical line. This symbol became a trademark of the Zodiac, a signature that he included in his cryptic communications. But what did it signify? To some, it represented a crosshair, symbolizing the killer's power over life and death. To others, it was an astrological reference, a nod to the Zodiac's chosen moniker, and perhaps a clue to his identity or motivations. But the Zodiac's fascination with symbolism didn't end with his cryptic letters. It extended into a bizarre, theatrical dimension, his costume. As reported by survivors of one of his attacks, the Zodiac donned a sinister outfit during at least one of his crimes. This costume consisted of a black hood, complete with clip-on sunglasses over the eye holes, and the Zodiac symbol emblazoned on the chest. It was more than just a disguise. It was a theatrical representation of his alter ego, a manifestation of his need for control, and perhaps an expression of his delusions of grandeur. This self-created persona of the Zodiac, complete with its distinctive costume, was as much a part of his identity as the letters he sent. It was a carefully crafted image designed to instill fear, to project a sense of otherworldly power and control. The costume and the symbol together created a mythos around the Zodiac, turning him into a figure that seemed more like a character from a horror story than a real-life criminal. The impact of this symbolism was profound. The public and media were not just dealing with a murderer, they were confronted with a villain straight out of a nightmare. The Zodiac's symbol and costume became icons of terror, etching themselves into the collective consciousness of a society grappling with the reality of a killer who was as much a master of symbolism as he was of evading capture. The Zodiac's symbolism, a crosshair overlaid on a circle, and his dark costume remain ingrained in the annals of true crime as chilling reminders of the Zodiac's reign of terror. They represent a killer who was not just content with murder, but sought to create a lasting legacy of fear and mystique. The pursuit of the Zodiac killer was a relentless endeavor that tested the limits of law enforcement capabilities of the time. The investigation into these heinous crimes was a mammoth task involving multiple police departments across Northern California. Each department brought its own pieces of this convoluted puzzle, attempting to stitch together a coherent picture of a killer who seemed always one step ahead. The interdepartmental cooperation was both a necessity and a challenge. Different jurisdictions meant different procedures, resources, and sometimes conflicting theories about the Zodiac's identity and motives. This often resulted in a tangled web of communication and coordination, making the pursuit of the Zodiac even more complex. Despite their tireless efforts, law enforcement faced numerous obstacles: the vast geographic area of the crimes, the lack of modern forensic technology, and the Zodiac's cunning ability to evade capture. The cryptic nature of his communications only added layers of complexity to an already intricate investigation. Over the years, as forensic science advanced, new techniques were applied to the Zodiac case. Investigators used these evolving technologies in an attempt to uncover new leads. DNA analysis, fingerprint technology, and even attempts to decipher the Zodiac's cryptic codes using modern computational methods were employed. These forensic advancements brought new hope to the cold case. Items once thought unyielding in their secrets were re-examined, searching for genetic trails that might have been missed in the past. The development of DNA databases provided a new avenue for comparison of evidence, offering potential links that were not previously possible. Yet, despite these efforts and the passage of time, the Zodiac case remains an enigma. The advancements in forensic science, though revolutionary, have yet to crack the code of the Zodiac's identity. The case stands as a testament to both the capabilities and limitations of criminal investigation techniques, both then and now. As we look back at the investigative efforts to track down the Zodiac, we are reminded of the relentless pursuit of justice by law enforcement and the ever-evolving field of forensic science. The Zodiac case remains one of the most perplexing in criminal history, a puzzle still waiting to be solved. As the Zodiac case grew cold, it became fertile ground for a myriad of theories and speculations. Armchair detectives, professional criminologists, and conspiracy theorists alike have pondered over this enigmatic killer, offering various explanations for his identity and the motives behind his terrifying spree. Among the most popular theories is the idea that the Zodiac was motivated by a desire for notoriety and control. This theory suggests that his cryptic letters and complex ciphers were a means to engage the media and law enforcement in a twisted game, asserting his dominance and intellect. Others speculate that the Zodiac's actions were driven by a deeper psychological compulsion, a need to kill, that was intertwined with his cryptic communications. Then there are the conspiracy theories. One such theory suggests that the Zodiac killings were not the work of a lone individual, but rather a group or an organization with a sinister agenda. This theory is bolstered by the varied nature of the killings and the Zodiac's apparent ability to evade capture. Another intriguing conspiracy theory posits that the Zodiac may have had connections to law enforcement or the military, explaining his detailed knowledge of police procedures and his ability to stay one step ahead of the investigators. This theory also aligns with the military boot prints found at one of the crime scenes, and the disciplined nature of his cryptograms. Some theories even delve into the realm of the Zodiac's possible victims, suggesting that he may have been responsible for more murders than officially attributed to him. These theories often point to unsolved cases in the same geographical area and time frame as the Zodiac's known crimes. Despite the multitude of theories and speculations, the true identity and motives of the Zodiac killer remain shrouded in mystery. Each theory offers a glimpse into a possible reality, a piece of a puzzle that has captivated and eluded us for decades. The Zodiac case is a reminder of the complex nature of criminal investigations and the human fascination with the unknown. The Zodiac killer's legacy extends far beyond the realm of unsolved crimes. Over the decades, this enigmatic figure has left an indelible mark on media and pop culture, spawning a plethora of movies, books, and television shows. The allure of the Zodiac case lies not just in its chilling details, but in the mystery that continues to shroud it. Films like David Fincher's Zodiac capture the obsessive quest to unmask the killer, delving into the intricacies of the case and the impact it had on those involved. Books, both fiction and non-fiction, explore the myriad facets of the Zodiac story, from detailed accounts of the investigation to fictional representations that bring the terror of the Zodiac to life. In the realm of popular culture, the Zodiac has become a symbol of the ultimate, unsolved mystery. The internet age has only fueled this fascination, with online forums and social media platforms buzzing with discussions, theories, and debates about the Zodiac's identity and motives. The case has become a fixture in the world of true crime enthusiasts, a puzzle that continues to challenge and intrigue. But why does the Zodiac case continue to fascinate the public? Perhaps it's the elusive nature of the killer, a figure who managed to outwit law enforcement and vanish without a trace. Maybe it's the cryptic messages and ciphers which invite endless analysis and interpretation. Or it could be the stark reminder that some mysteries remain unsolved, echoing our deepest fears and curiosities about the unknown. The Zodiac's cultural impact is also a testament to the human desire to solve puzzles and seek justice. It's a story that grips our imagination, not just because of the terror it evokes, but also because of the enduring hope that one day the mystery will be solved and closure will be brought to the victims and their families. As we reflect on the Zodiac's impact on media and pop culture, we're reminded of the power of storytelling and the enduring allure of mystery. The Zodiac case, with its blend of horror, intrigue, and mystery, continues to captivate and horrify, a dark chapter in our collective history that we are compelled to revisit time and time again. As we come to the end of our journey into the dark world of the Zodiac Killer, we are left with more questions than answers. The Zodiac case stands as one of the most perplexing mysteries in the annals of American crime. A series of brutal killings, cryptic letters filled with puzzles and taunts, and a killer who managed to elude capture, leaving a trail of fear and speculation in his wake. The Zodiac's reign of terror in the late 1960s and early 1970s in Northern California, the enigmatic and terrifying communications with the media, the numerous suspects and theories that emerged over the years, and the profound impact on media and pop culture. All these elements weave together into a narrative that is as horrifying as it is intriguing. The identity and motives of the Zodiac Killer remain shrouded in mystery, a puzzle that has challenged law enforcement, intrigued the public, and baffled experts for decades. Despite the advances in forensic science and the tireless efforts of investigators, the Zodiac Killer's true identity remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of crime. But the story doesn't end here. The Zodiac case continues to captivate and invite speculation. And this is where you come in. What are your thoughts on this enduring mystery? Do you have a theory about the Zodiac's identity or motives? Share your insights and join the ongoing discussion. If you're fascinated by this case and want to explore more mysteries and stories from the world of true crime, don't forget to subscribe. Your engagement helps us delve deeper into these intriguing stories and bring more content to you. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos where we uncover the mysteries of the criminal world. Thank you for joining me, Onas, on this exploration of the Zodiac Killer's enigmatic legacy. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and keep exploring the mysteries that surround us. Until next time, keep pondering the unsolved and the unknown.